Hi, this is Hope, and I wanted to share one of my daughter's prophetic dreams. I felt led to go ahead and share that now, and I will do so. I do want to tell you that she's had several prophetic dreams, and two of them have come to pass, which is why I now feel led to share this one. And if God leads me to do the others, then I'll do those as well. Those include things about fireballs, especially, and floods, and just other things. But this one has to do with three earthquakes in California. Now, if you'll just bear with me real quickly, let me tell you the other two dreams so you will know why I feel like this too might come to pass. Very, very briefly, in March of 2017, my daughter had a dream, and long story short, because it's very personal, a boy from her church told her she'd be going through hardships in 6 months. Okay, 6 months later, in August, she was diagnosed with cancer. And believe me, she went through hardships. She thought she was cured. We all thought she was cured in November of 2017. And she actually went back to work for about a month or 6 weeks or so. She had another dream. She had another dream in January. I'm sorry, I'm looking at my notes. In 2018, so she was back at work. She thought she was cured. But in this dream, part of the dream was that she had blurry vision and she was really slow to talk. And when I came into the room, though, in her dream, she was fine. So she ended up being diagnosed with cancer 3 more times, going through radiation, and she went through, the worst possible scenarios you can think of for a person with cancer. It was just awful. And so she passed away in February last year. But this dream she had when she was thinking she was cured, the way she passed away was my husband and I were out of the room where she was in a hospice room, and my husband walked in, and I came in a few minutes later, and he said she just took her last breath. And I was walking around the bed, and sure enough, she had passed away. And the thing was, on that day, she had to physically open her eyes to try to look out the window, and also she couldn't speak anymore. So in her dream of the blurry vision and the slow speech and all, as soon as I walked in the room in real life, she passed away. And so she was perfect then. She felt just fine. So it's easier for me to talk about now. I haven't shared that. But so now, she's had these other dreams. And so I feel somewhat led to share them, especially this one. So this is about the California dreams. And the text at the bottom of the next picture shows you exactly what she sent me. So this is what she sent me. Not the picture, but the text that says, earthquakes in California. This was her dream. This is what she could remember. She's like Salona, Sonora, Somerset. She says, I feel there are three, and that I, Hope, sent her a text that said, this is the end, the dreadful end. And she said this was more than a dream. It was like, you know how you wake up in your twilight and you're like, wow, that was so real. Okay, so that's what she's saying there. So I asked a friend today to put together a little map of California where these places are. And there's a Salona Beach, which I don't have on here. It's somewhere down here. But my friend had sent me that, and he suggested it was Salona County, and I think he might be right. And so that's right here. Here's Somerset, here's Sonora. Now, my daughter didn't know these places at all. She just happened to have the dream. But I did want to get it out there in a video just to kind of give you guys a heads up. I think there was an earthquake today in California. I'm already aware of it. It was over 6, but they downgraded it to 5.8. So you know how that is. Anyway, I looked up this what she says about end, dreadful end. That's kind of a strange phrase. So I looked up the word dreadful in the Bible, and it occurs 23 times. And check this out. So the first occurrence they show is in Revelation, and they're talking about an earthquake more dreadful than there had ever been. And so I thought that was quite interesting that that's the very first thing I come across was a dreadful earthquake in Revelation 16. Now, the California earthquakes, in my opinion, come before the earthquake that is going to split the United States. And that earthquake, based on what 278 Pite Lake has told us, comes in the winter. And so I'm going to put that link below so you can read that word that comes in the winter. But these three earthquakes, California, we know, already experiences earthquakes. It's not a surprise. But the fact that my daughter had this dream, oh, I'm sorry, you can't even see what I'm pointing at. My apologies. I'm not used to an iPhone trying to do this, so sorry about that. It's in this first one here. You didn't see my highlights, did you? No, you didn't. Okay. Anyway, so she had those dreams. I wanted to tell you about them. And then finally, this second verse, right? I did an entire video on this second verse a long time ago, and it's on my website. See, now I'm with it. I got it now. And I will put a link below on both my website, which is thecallofthebride.com, and this video, which is called The Great Darkness. And for those of you who do not understand English and you like translations, I've got a translation of everything. And what I did was I compiled words of Julie Wedby. Let's see, I've got my resources here. Sue, which I post on my website, Bond's blog, remember that? Remember Bond? And then 278 Pike Lake. So the only thing I would update on this page is that probably before even the cosmic event, I believe there's going to be an outpouring of the Lord's gifts. And that's not a full transformation, but it is a partial transformation. And in fact, before I post this video, I'll put a link right here on this page to a word from Julie Wedby that explains what I believe, why I believe there is an outpouring of gifts first, to a lesser extent, before the Great Transformation. And I believe that this Genesis 15 verse 2 verse, which talks about dread, this is actually what will happen to us and the lukewarm and the lost during the great 3 days of darkness, which I explain about on this page. So hopefully that was, I know it was a little, not my usual self. I just kind of threw some stuff out there, but I wanted to get the dream out there. So there you have it.